Have you been avoiding playing Destiny 2 for the 7 years that it's been out? Or are you just coping and need some affirmations to make you feel better about your addiction, like me? Well, either boat that you're in, I've got 10 reasons as to why Destiny 2 is so addicting. With reason number 1, I'm going to have to start out with the gunplay. The sound design for the guns, the firing animations, the recoil, the reload animations, the gun design itself. I mean, look at this. You can see it's animated. Like on the gun, there's animated like coloration. Look at the particle animation around the end of the barrel here. It's the shooting. I mean, it's so and the tactility. Every gun is unique, right? Let's switch to an auto rifle here. I mean, that's just, it's punchy, right? It just feels so good to shoot each and every weapon. It's a blast. Like, I will never get tired of shooting weapons in this game. It's so fun. And like I said, each weapon has its own identity, and it helps with the origin traits. There's origin traits for everything. So, and this is relatively new for each gun. And that helps with expanding their differences from each other. These Omalon weapons feel so unique. It's like, you just listen. And then look at the look at the attention to detail here. You can see the little bubble on the side. As I'm shooting it, the bubble, the fluid level goes down. See that? Okay, I just got my super, and that is perfect timing because number 2 is going to have to be the supers and the abilities. You've got the grenades here, so this grenade blinds. I didn't quite make it to him, but we've got a second one here. Check this out. As soon as I slide, I pull out my staff and just obliterate everything in front of me. Dodge. Hunters have dodges. Warlocks have the rifts, and Titans have their barricades. It's very, very unique between each class. And then, best of all, you've got the power fantasy. The power fantasy with the supers. So I'm going to show you an example. The first few that come to mind is number 1, Gathering Storm, which is what I have on my Hunter right now. Twilight Arsenal on the Titan. Check this out. It's just so good. And you listen to the sound design of that. Like the lightning is so cool. Blade Barrage on Hunter is amazing. Song of Flame on Warlock. Chaos Reach on Warlock is insane. It just feels so satisfying to use. Makes you feel like an unstoppable alien god slayer that you are. Now, I do want to add in an honorable mention here, and that's the loot grind. Some of the things are locked behind RNG, so random number generators. Sometimes it is completely against your favor. Sometimes it's for you. It definitely adds to the addiction of the game because it's like, with gambling, you never know what you're going to get, and it's a blast. The loot chase is real. Number 3, we've got the sound design. I already went over the sound design for the guns, but I'm going to go ahead and turn this up and just let you listen to the enemies and anything else we've got here. So here's a grenade. Okay. Dodge. Couldn't really hear that. Music's a little loud right now. I could turn that down. that sound of becoming amplified and getting the speed booster that I have right now. I mean, oh, it's so cool. The punching sounds. Loot drop sounds when you get loot. When you hover over things. Inspect. Equipping stuff. Like, opening chests. That's another thing that adds to the uniqueness of each class between Hunter, Warlock, and Titan is the jumps. I mean, that's a huge one. Hunters have the double jump. Titans have like a lifting burst, kind of, that is, I guess, kind of comparable to like Black Ops 3's exosuit movement. Kind of. There's really not anything else that compares. And then the Warlocks, you would have to feel it and use it to know what it feels like. More on the sound design, you've got certain mechanics, especially in like dungeons and raids, sound super cool, especially with the newer stuff in the pyramid ships. On to number 4, we've got the enemies and the enemy design. So these are the Hive right here, and every enemy has a crit spot. So like headshots, doing more damage than body shots, like most games. But I think the difference with this game and the crits and the enemy design is that it's just more satisfying compared to other games, because you get that nice yellow damage number and you're doing a lot more damage. You've got this tiny little target to aim at. I completely forgot that I changed my subclass, by the way. Each enemy type has their own set of attacks and ways that they can dodge you or make themselves empowered or immune to your attacks. They all do their own different elemental damage to you, so you have to, in the harder end content, you really have to spec your mods. So if we look at our chess piece here, we have resist mods. So for example, Hive ogres deal void damage, and if you're come across a lot of void ogres or Hive ogres, you'd put on void resist. Now I do have to be honest here, the newest enemy type that they added in, the Dread, is so annoying to play against. I will say it's great enemy design, fantastic, but not fun to play against, because they made the Dread to be annoying, like 100%. They tried to make it as annoying as possible, and they succeeded in that. But their design, like the models, are super cool. The subjugators, the husks are super cool looking. Everything looks cool in the new enemy with the Dread, but boy, are they not fun to play against. On to number 5. There's a challenge offered to everyone, regardless of your skill level. If you just started, there's plenty of content that is at your skill level, and if anything, you can basically build your difficulty level to exactly how you want. You can play patrol spaces, which are the easiest content in the game if you need, and that's totally fine. No one's gonna dog on you about doing that. You can do a little harder stuff like campaign or the easier nightfalls. And then if you really just want to take it all the way, you could do dungeons, raids, and you've even got harder than that. You've got master dungeons, master raids, contest dungeons, which those are only around a couple days out of every year, so those are rare. But grandmaster nightfalls are very difficult, so you can really spec in and make the game as hard as you want it to be. You can solo certain things that are designed to be played with 3 people, that definitely makes things harder. And what's really cool about that is, for example, with dungeons, there are tons of challenges and rewards that you can get for completing stuff solo versus completing it with a full fire team of 3. Moving on to number 6, the playlist variety is awesome. There's tons of people that play this game just for the PvP, never touch PvE, so they only stay on Crucible, Trials, Iron Banner, and vice versa. Tons of people like me, I hardly ever touch PvP just because I'm bad and I get very pissed off very quickly. And so I mainly stick to PvE, and I hardly ever touch Crucible, Trials, or Iron Banner. Gambit is a 4v4, so you're fighting aliens, enemies, and then you can invade the other team and actually do PvP. A lot of people hate on it, but I kind of enjoy Gambit. Number 7, the game is just straight up beautiful. Look at the environment here. Now, this is on the this is in the Traveler, in the Pale Heart. Like, no, and it's not because of the realistic looking graphics. It's not obviously realistic at all. But the graphic design is gorgeous. Like the skyboxes, look at this. I mean, you got snow-covered mountains way off in the distance. You got whatever this cube stuff is, and stuff sticking out of the ground, and like it's gorgeous. Like recently, I've been seeing lots of like Warframe players coming over to Dresstiny and trying it out, or just people trying it out for the first time. And one of the first things they notice is just how pretty the game is. It's super cool, and a lot of them point out the skybox as well. Number 8, this game gets a bad rap for being too grindy. You can make it as grindy or as chill as you want. Wait, what? Green? Dude, I haven't seen a green engram in years. It's not going to give me green gear. I just don't know what. Let's see. Oh, I see. Okay. I guess I just never have seen the luminescent seed engram drop. Just always gone straight into my inventory. Like, you could hop on, play the weekly story mission, and hop off and do that. Totally fine. Or you can take it to the next level and grind out titles and seals, which are very difficult. For example, I want to show you, I have this one. So this is for Spire the Watcher dungeon. So this is a 3-man activity, right? In order to complete this seal, you have to complete all of these objectives here, as you can see, and they are all done. One of the things on here is this one right here. Complete all encounters solo and without leaving the activity. That took a long time. That was very difficult. There is also a challenge for completing it solo flawlessly, meaning you do not die. You complete it solo and without dying. It's for an emblem. You get an emblem. You don't get really anything else, but it feels so good. That's what I mean by you could be as grindy as you want. There's tons of people that do that, and I'm on the verge of that. I'm not quite that good, but and I know I could get it done if I just stuck my mind to it and just like dedicated a few days into trying it out, and I could get it done. Like, so you don't have to go that far, and so, but that's just one part of getting this done. You do have to also do a few other things that are not hard, but just a little monotonous. There's one other here that's completed on master. Basically, you have to perfect the dungeon in order to get this seal, and then once you get when you get the title wanted, it goes on right here, wanted. And other people see, I bet these guys have titles, they do. So you can see his name, and then right under it says chosen in purple. That's the title he got, is chosen. So titles are grindy, but you don't have to go for them. So this game can be as grindy or as chill as you want it to be. And number 9, I'm going to have to say Dresstiny. So it's all about the drip, okay? And they have improved this significantly throughout the years. So with each armor piece, you have shaders, right? You can equip a shader to each individual armor piece to really dial in the colors that you want, which is super cool. And there's I mean hundreds of shaders, okay? And I have nowhere near all of them. And then you also have ornaments. So you can unlock certain ornaments, so you can change the headpiece to what you want and not change the stat. You can just change the cosmetics here. And what's really cool is you have an appearance customization tab. So you can go through and you can actually equip a shader to everything and just make it super quick. And some say that Dresstiny is the end game. So if you've got the best fit and the best looking Guardian compared to everyone else, you beat the game. And I must say, it is addicting to sometimes when you're just bored. Like, what do? Just go in here and change up your drip. Especially if you've been playing for a while and you've got a bunch of shaders built up and ornaments built up, you can really dial it into exactly how you want. And what's really cool is they've made a lot of adjustments. I'm sure you've heard in the past about all the issues with the microtransactions. I'm gonna take a hot take, I think, here and say that I think we're in a good spot with microtransactions. Like, I personally don't feel that they're shoved down my throat. You go to the store tab, right? And you've got things that you can purchase with real money. Silver is the real money currency in the game. And then you've got down here, you've got Bright Dust, which is free and earnable in-game. And they have expanded how you can earn Bright Dust massively. So it's a lot easier now. Honestly, I don't even have to really grind for Bright Dust, and I kind of just get it passively. And when this rotates every week, and you can even go down here to this icon, Bright Dust, and you've got another section here for stuff that you can get for free with Bright Dust. Weapon ornaments for exotics, ships, sparrows, emotes, ghosts, shaders and transmat effects, and consumables. And last but not least, number 10, I'm gonna have to include the story. And some are gonna think I'm absolutely crazy for including this into my list, but I gotta say, since like within the past couple years, especially since Witch Queen, they have really upped the storytelling aspect. It's much more interesting to follow. I would say, especially with this episode Heresy, Act 1 started out with a bang, I've got to say. And I think the most intriguing part to me has got to be looking forward to Frontiers that's coming up here this summer, because we just ended the Light and Darkness saga, which was 10 years. We don't know what's coming in Frontiers yet. It can be anything. They can do literally anything that they want with the game in terms of the story, and I love that. Personally, I love that, and I'm really excited to see what they have in store. And I've got another honorable mention here, and that is the build crafting. Now, I know there's probably plenty of other games out there that have more build crafting potential and stuff to mess with, but they have come so far. I mean, the subclasses used to be like skill trees, and it wasn't in depth at all. Like with the supers, you could only choose from like 3 nodes, maybe 4, and you couldn't customize the nodes. They introduced subclass 3.0 with stasis back in Beyond Light. That was our first look into subclass 3.0, and everybody loved the customization and the build potential you could do with stasis. And so they took that feedback and they decided to revamp all of the other subclasses, and they started with Void for Witch Queen, and they added the aspects and fragments were the 2 things that they added, and it's huge. Look how many fragments you have, right? And they each do their own unique thing, and they're hugely impactful to your play experience. For the longest time, Void only had a few grenades. Like, I think Void Hunter only had Vortex Grenade. I think Hunter only had Vortex Grenade and Void Spike. Is that right? I can't remember, but there was only like 2 grenades you had per subclass in each character. And then once they introduced this, they kind of made it more or less class specific. So they gave everybody the same grenades that you could use from every class. Void Wall, Suppressor, Scatter. Scatter used to only be a solar grenade, so they seriously expanded it big time. Now, it doesn't stop there. With Prismatic, the newest subclass, they kind of just said, have fun. And they let you use light and dark subclasses, or light and dark aspects and fragments from other subclasses, allowing for huge build potentials. And on top of that, when you are in Prismatic subclass, you can put on the exotic class items. These have 2 exotics in 1 armor piece, whereas in the past you could only have 1 exotic at a time. You can really spec into your stats here, your character stats, so your mobility, resilience, recovery, discipline, intellect, and strength. And then each armor piece has their own mods that you can spec into. On top of that, you've got artifact mods that change every season. So needless to say, the build crafting is a blast. I mean, you could just go in and just kind of work up a build that maybe you haven't seen anyone use, that is insanely strong, that's out of meta, quote unquote out of meta. You can do whatever you want. So that's my list of 10 reasons why Destiny 2 is so addicting. Technically 12 with the 2 honorable mentions I put in there. I very much appreciate you watching up until this point, and if you have, I seriously thank you. Thank you very much. All that I ask is you like the video, and if you feel like it, you can comment. If not, whatever, but really, I would just love if you just like the video. I'm trying to expand my reach, and I want to keep making more videos like this because this is a game that I'm truly passionate about, and I see myself playing for a long time from now. So thank you for stopping in, and I will catch you on the next video.